This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
On his deathbed, Mao apparently passed the mantle of leadership to a fellow Hunan native, the colorless vice premier, Hua Guofeng. Hua had been elevated to his position during Deng Xiaoping's second fall from power in early 1976, but had no independent national-level base of support. In a bid to shore up his position as Mao's successor, Hua reported Mao had written a note to him just prior to death, reputedly saying, "With you in charge, I am at ease." Despite wide play in the newspaper, few were convinced. Indeed, most believed the note to be apocryphal. The arrest of the Gang of Four and the two whatevers. With Mao lying in state at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, the reaction against Jiang Qing began. Formerly shown much deference, she was now all but ignored. She tried to arm support in Shanghai and Beijing, and also made an alliance with Mao Yuanxin, Mao's nephew, the political commissar of the Shenyang military region in Manchuria. It appears that Jiang Qing was hoping to seize power through a military coup. Mao's funeral was held at 3:00 p.m. on September 18, 1976. Over 1 million people attended. Early in the morning, they began gathering on Tiananmen Square to mourn or at least mark the passing of a leader and an era. The square was filled to capacity with workers, students, cadres, and urban dwellers. There was grief as well as ambivalence. Domestic and international leaders filed past the casket of the Great Hall of the People, abutting the square. Nobody there or on the square itself quite knew what to expect next. A heated discussion took place about what to do with Mao's body. Some leaders wanted him buried. Others argued that Mao should be embalmed for display in a mausoleum to be built on Tiananmen Square, just as Lenin was on Moscow's Red Square. Even though Mao had always objected to the handling of Lenin, the embalming faction won. A magnificent structure was built in the middle of the square to house Mao's body. Viewing the body attracts a large number of visitors to this day. Immediately following the mourning period for Chairman Mao, Hua Guofeng was persuaded to move against Jiang Qing. He presided over the smashing of the Gang of Four on October 6, 1976. Jiang and her 3 Shanghai associates were arrested one by military guards loyal to CCP old-timers. None resisted arrest. Along with these 4, Mao Yuanxin and many other suspected gang supporters were also taken into custody. In 1980-81, the 4 were given a public trial in a sensational media event intended to close the era of the Cultural Revolution with finality and a whiff of legality. While some advocated a Gang of 5 label, with Mao as the 5th, this was firmly resisted by the leadership. All talk of Mao's guilt was deferred to a formal party assessment. With the gang sidelined and their major supporters in jail, CCP veterans wasted no time in purging all levels of the party of the cultural revolutionary upstarts, whose rise to power and credentials rested on their loyal implementation of gang policies. The majority of these workers and peasant cadres elevated into the party as the intelligentsia, and old party cadres had been removed. The post-cultural revolutionary order was restoring old prerogatives. CCP bureaucrats rose from the ashes stronger and more vigorous than before.